Genetic engineering is becoming more prevalent in today's society. Today, I'm going to teach you about the good, the bad, and the future of genetic engineering. The good. We are able to now genetically modify mosquitoes and to be more resistant to the Zika virus. We do this by taking the mosquitoes, a certain segment of the population, and we genetically modify them. Then we release them back into the population, and they breed to create a more resistant population of mosquitoes towards the Zika. This will help cure the problems we're having with the Zika virus. The next is we might be able to cure cancer. We're using the HIV virus and we're extracting the DNA, the RNA. Then what we do is we inject it into the person and the HIV will target the cancer cells. This is a more selective way to kill cancer than chemo. Chemo is more of a crap shot and just kills everything. We're also going to be able to genetically modify plants. We're doing this now, and it's going to help cure world hunger and also make living a lot cheaper. One of the main problems we're having in Africa right now is that there's a lack of food, and the barren landscape prohibits the growth of this food. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making crops that will grow in a drier, more desolate climate. The bad. It can potentially be dangerous and disastrous. We can end up destroying an organism, an environment, or even the entire human population. We can do this by accidentally releasing a very invasive species onto an ecosystem that will damage the ecosystem beyond repair. Another thing is terrorists. They might be able to use this as a super virus. They can genetically alter viruses to be more contagious, and they can end up poisoning our food, water, and making it much easier to spread disease to us. GMOs can also create pesticides. Pesticides that can be carcinogenic to humans. This can actually spread cancer, and this will really hurt humans. It can also affect the ecosystem. Many of the reasons you don't see bees anymore is because pesticides have actually wiped out entire ecosystems of these bees due to the pesticides. And the future. The future will bring waste management. We actually have this now, but it's in the works. We have a plastic decaying fungus that will quickly deteriorate plastic and make the decomposition of garbage a lot quicker. We'll also be able to do this with fuel and energy. Many people are using genetic engineering to create bacteria that breaks down garbage and different things like that to create fuel. We can also use photosynthetic bacteria that will create electricity, making solar panels a lot cheaper and more efficient. Lastly, we'll be able to use it for terraforming planets. Now this seems very far off, but you're hearing about it more and more, about colonizing the moon and colonizing Mars. We will be able to create an atmosphere with genetic engineering. We will also be able to get the soil ready for plants. The way they'll do this is by releasing bacteria, and it will break up the poisonous elements in the soil and allow it to be more hospitable. Lastly, it will also purify water and allow us to bring life to that planet. So in conclusion, genetic engineering is both good and bad. We have to carry on with being very cautious. We can control diseases, cure cancer, and genetically modify foods, but it can also bring dangers, such as weapons, pesticides, and different cancerous effects. We're going to have to decide whether it's a humane thing to now genetically modify humans and plants on this earth. So when the time comes, you'll be informed. So are there any questions any of you guys have?
Yeah, I have one over here. How far in the future is genetic engineering? How far are we away from actually making it reality?
We're actually not far at all. We're doing this in some cases now. All farmers actually go to universities now for genetic engineering, and they're actually genetically modifying their crops, but we're going to be doing this at a larger scale in the future.
Will genetic engineering help to cure other diseases such as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or lupus?
It will. In the future, we're probably going to be able to genetically modify ourselves if it's humane to do so. And we're also going to be able to use features like how we are using the HIV to cure cancer, to cure these other diseases and problems.